The story starts when a group of men with guns and fork in a field is in search of two people named Katie and Cora. An elderly person named Paul who lives in a retirement place wakes up, washes up, then asks for his breakfast. The person who serves him asks him why he always goes to the hill. Paul simply says that he likes to walk. After breakfast, he immediately goes outside and went to the hill. A few moments later, a group of elderly is watching TV. Then one of them changed the channel and started watching an old movie with a melody of paradise. As Paul starts crying when he saw the film, his friend Elaine accompanies him to understand that the movie affects Paul. Then Paul starts to tell his story about his job as a prison guard. He said that he supervised death row and execution and called it the Greenmile. The story moved on back to 1935 at the Louisiana State Jail, as the young Paul was in pain because of a urinary infection. One of the guards named Brutus says he should go to see the doctor, but Paul says there is a new arrival and he should be there. A few moments later, another guard named Percy arrived with the enormous black prisoner named John Coffey. While they walk, Percy shouts, "Dead man walking." Inside the jail, Paul told Percy that he wants him to go outside. Percy was not happy about it and hit one of the inmates named Dell because he saw that he is smiling. John introduced his name, saying that his name is like the drink but spelled differently. John then asks if they leave the light on after bedtime because he is scared of the dark. Paul said that it is always bright in the place. John extends his arm to shake Paul's hand. Before Paul leaves, John says, "I tried to take it back, but it was too late." Later on, Paul is outside reading John's case. The scene is a group of men found John holding the two young girls crying. The father of the girls starts attacking John. Then Paul was met by Superintendent Hal Moore. Hal gives the execution paper of another prisoner to Paul. Hal also mentioned that his wife is not well. They also discuss Percy. They both know that Percy is a nephew of the wife of the governor. Paul says that Percy assaulted one of the prisoners. Hal said that Percy will soon be moved to an admin job, so he will not stay for too long. The next morning, Brutus noticed a mouse in the cell block. They watched the mouse approach them. Brutus fed the mouse and ran to the restraint room after. The guards agreed to get the mouse cause they think it might nest there. They cleaned the room but did not find the mouse. A few hours later, Percy saw the mouse, goes into a rage attempting to kill it. The mouse returned to the restraint room and Percy followed it. Paul and Brutus let Percy chase the mouse. Later on, Paul criticized Percy for his disturbed behavior, but Percy did not care. Brutus snatches him, but Percy threatens him that he will ask his connection to remove him from the job. Paul asks Brutus to stop and then talk to Percy that he knew all about his connection and is not afraid of it. The next day, Paul and the guards are in rehearsal for the execution of Arlen. Paul educates Percy to pay attention while they prepare for the hot seat. The gatekeeper clarifies to Percy that they need to put a wet sponge to the head to instantly kill the convict and they should not do it without it. They also noticed that the mouse is with them. That evening, Arlen was ready for his execution. Paul talks to Arlen before the execution and Arlen shares a story about the best time of his life. Everybody watches while Arlen is executed. Percy still disrespected Arlen's body, but Brutus stops him. Paul tells Percy to move to the new job that was offered to him. But Percy wants to be on Brutus's spot for the next execution and says he will stay if Paul says no. The next day, the prisoner named Dell found the mouse once more and names it Mr. Jingles. The mouse can do tricks and push a spool of string as a stunt. John says it is like a circus mouse and Dell laugh. Paul meets Hal, said that a new detainee arriving, a man named Wharton with Billy the Kid as a tattoo, who kills 3 individuals in a robbery. Hal, very sad, also said to Paul that his wife Melinda has cancer with a tumor the size of a lemon. He said that he can't tell his wife. That night, Paul can't fall asleep. He was in pain and have difficulty peeing. The next morning, he said that he is going to see the doctor. The guard is now escorting Wild Bill to the prison, taught that Wild Bill is high from medication. Paul waited patiently for the new inmate. John said to be careful. When they arrive, Wild Bill starts attacking the guards. Percy was shocked and can't do anything. Brutus arrived and hit Wild Bill to stop him. Paul is still in pain because of the infection. John started asking Paul to go to him. John asks to go closer to him. John grabbed Paul and touched the part where Paul is hurt. After that, John starts to choke and strange things came out of his mouth. John miraculously removed the pain from Paul. John said he was tired and went back to bed. Paul, without the pain, can now urinate with ease. Later on, made love to his wife all night till morning. Paul said that he will not report to the job that day and decided to go to the lawyer who handled John's case. He asked the lawyer if John is a killer as he looks and acts harmless. The lawyer answered him that they got a sweet dog once. He said that they loved the dog, but the dog attacked his son. The lawyer thinks that John is guilty. Paul brings John bread to thank him for healing him. He also said that his wife is also pleased. John shared the bread with Dell and Mr. Jingles but did not give Wild Bill. Wild Bill urinates on one of the guard named Harry. The guards start removing the things outside the restraint room and put Bill inside to calm him down. The next morning the guards pay him a visit and Wild Bill says that he learned his lesson. So the guards put him back inside his cell. Later on, Wild Bill bought a moon pie from one of the inmates. Instantly eat it all in one bite. Brutus approached Wild Bill as he is standing still. Then Wild Bill spits the moon pie he just ate, then laugh. The guards put Wild Bill back into the restraint room. The next day Dell and Mr. Jingles were invited to perform. This is for Dell to go out so they can rehearse his execution. Percy rehearsed with the guards as he will be in front. After the rehearsal, Dell came back so happy that Mr. Jingles performed well. Percy makes fun of Dell and Wild Bill grabbed Percy. Percy is so terrified he urinates himself. Dell laughed at Percy. Percy is so angry, threatens everyone not to tell. Paul and Brutus talk to Dell that they will take care of Mr. Jingles. They said they will bring Mr. Jingles to Mouseville just to make Dell happy. Mr. Jingles ran out of the cell and Percy stepped on it. Dell starts crying and John asked to bring the mouse to him. His hands start to glow. John starts coughing again and strange things went out of his mouth. Mr. Jingles is back to life, went back to Dell. Paul and Brutus confronted Percy telling him to transfer after the execution of Dell or they will tell him all the things he has done in the Green Mile. The evening of Dell's execution arrived. Dell gives Mr. Jingles to Paul, but Paul says he can't bring Mr. Jingles with him. John Coffey volunteers to hold Mr. Jingles. The guards now escorted Dell to the execution room. Dell is put on the seat before the crowd as Percy begins the orders. Dell told Paul to not forget about the Mouseville, but Percy naughtily answers by saying that there is no such place. This caused Dell to be upset. Percy put a dry sponge on Dell's head, which causes Dell to suffer before he died. A wet sponge should have instantly killed him. Wild Bill is happily sneering and yelling. Dell shakes and shouts in torment. His suffering even bursts him into flames. The crowd begins to overreact and runs away from the area. Hal even attempts to calm everybody down. Paul made sure that Percy watched the torment. Brutus attacks Percy in anger, but Paul stops him. Warden Hal is not happy about it. Percy lied and said that he did not know that the sponge should be wet. Paul checked John. John said that he can feel it from his cell. John, crying, said that he is dog-tired and then lied down on his bed. The following morning, Paul and his wife Jan visited Hal and his sick wife Melinda. Hal said to Paul that today is a good day for Melinda. He said that sometimes Melinda is not in herself anymore. She talks awful language and did not know she is doing it. Hal is happy that Paul and Jan visited them and Melinda is well today. The next morning, Paul invited the guards for a nice meal and talks about how John can help to cure Melinda. He told his plan in taking John to Melinda. The guards at first are very hesitant with the plan as might cause of their jobs and they might go to prison. But soon all agreed to help Paul in bringing John to Melinda. That night they start preparing drinks, added some medicine to make Wild Bill dizzy and fall asleep. They also restrained Percy so he could not tell anyone. Now the guards prepared their guns and then let John get out of his cell. John is also excited about going out and helping Melinda. Not fully unconscious yet, Wild Bill snatches John's arm. John felt sickened by what he see when Wild Bill snatched his arm. Then later on fall asleep as he is very dizzy. They all showed up in Hall's house. Went outside with a shotgun, thought there is a lockdown. Paul cautiously talks him down, while John goes upstairs to meet Melinda. John gets near Melinda's face. Something went out of Melinda's mouth going inside John's mouth, making the light shatter and the house shake. John started coughing. Melinda stands up and approaches John, telling him that she dreamed about him. Melinda gave her necklace to John as a gift for protection. Paul and Brutus assisted John back to his cell as he is badly hurt. Paul and Brutus now released Percy, telling him that they also know people and will tell all the bad things he did inside the mile. Percy was standing in front of John's cell and John grabbed him by his neck. John released something in his mouth into Percy's mouth. Percy, in shock, walks into Wild Bill's cell and instantly shot him several times. Paul approached John. John said he punished both the bad man. Paul asked why Wild Bill. John says he saw what Wild Bill did. John showed Paul what Wild Bill did. Wild Bill was a laborer on the ranch where the two young girls resided. One night, Wild Bill went inside the girls' room and snatched them. Wild Bill is the one who kills the two young girls. Now Paul knows who the killer is. Meanwhile, Percy is in shock. Hal said that he will cover for Paul even if it causes his job. Paul denied it. Now Percy is brought to a mental hospital. Paul now knows what happens. He is now thinking how to help John. Melinda now also knows that John is innocent, told Paul to talk to John and find out what he wants. Paul and Brutus visited John in his cell and asked him what he wanted to eat before the execution. Paul even offered that he will help him to run away. John declined the offer. He said that he is tired and wanted this to be over. He said that he is tired of seeing people ugly to each other, tired of all the pain that he feels every day, like pieces of glass inside his head. Brutus asks him if there is something they can do for him. John says he has not seen a film before. They all watch the film Paradise. John, so happy, says they are like angels in heaven. On the night of the execution, Paul says he needs to take the necklace and promised he will return it later. While the guards walk with John to the execution room, John says he got a dream about Mr. Jingles in Mouseville, also dreamed of the two young girls laughing while watching Mr. Jingles perform. He said they all watched Mr. Jingles in his dream and they were all laughing. When they enter the room, John says he sensed that there are a lot of people inside the room hate him. Then Brutus told him to sense those who do not hate him. Paul started the speech and they are about to cover John's face, but John requested not to cover his face cause he is afraid of the dark. Paul agreed. Paul makes sure that the sponge is wet and puts it in John's head while John is saying he is in heaven. Paul continues the speech but stops. Brutus approached him saying that he need to say the order. Paul approached John and shakes his hand and gives the order. Paul returned the necklace to John. Now the old Paul says that it was the last execution he was part of. He said they transferred to Boys Correctional. Elaine concedes that it is hard to believe Paul's story. Paul brings Elaine to the hills inside an old house and shows Mr. Jingles. Paul said he thinks John passed some of his magic to him and Mr. Jingles' reason they live that long. He said he is 108 years old.
The end of the world.
A series of strange events happen around the world. People just start collapsing and then suddenly die. Dr. Joshua Keyes is in his class teaching and was escorted by two FBI agents into a classified location. In there, Keyes met his friend Serge. General Purcell meets the two professors and told them about the incident of the sudden death of random people. Purcell asks them if the casualties are an act of war. They are all clueless about what is happening.
That's not a weapon that I've ever...
Trafalgar Square, London. While people are enjoying the place, all of a sudden, a lot of pigeons fell from the sky. Everybody got panicked and ran. The strange event causes a lot of damage. Keyes' colleague says the incident also happens in other parts of the world. Keyes asks his team to conduct an investigation into what is happening. Meanwhile, Major Rebecca Childs and Commander Robert Iverson are in space preparing to land their shuttle to Earth. Unfortunately, they are off course and are to land in Los Angeles. Childs checked the file and instructed the crew to land in a canal. The crew is hesitant but has no other choice. The crew had difficulty but safely landed. Keyes went to meet a famous professor named Dr. Konrad Zimski. Keyes asks Zimski to read the documents he has and told him that this is about the end of the world. Zimski at first won't believe the file.
we'll know soon enough.
Childs met Purcell and discussed the crash they had in Los Angeles. Purcell is not happy about it. Keyes and Serge are at the bar drinking, a bit annoyed that Zimski did not consider his documents, so both of them just make fun of it. Then the FBI arrived to escort again Keyes and Serge.
We have no sense of humor.
Keyes enters a room. Inside are Zimski and Purcell with the top officials in the country. Keyes presents and discusses that the electromagnetic field of the Earth will soon collapse. He said that the reason this is happening is because the outer core of the Earth stops spinning. He said that if the EM field collapses, we will not have a shield and the sun will cook the Earth. Keyes also said that it is impossible to restart the core. He said that even if they have a brilliant plan to restart the core, they cannot go there. He said that the core is several thousands of miles deep, and the deepest hole that man drilled is only around 7 miles. Zimski says he thinks they can.
We just can't get there. What if we could?
Zimski and the rest visited an old colleague named Dr. Ed Braz Brazelton. Braz is not happy to see Zimski said that 20 years ago Zimski stole his research. Braz demonstrated his new invention about laser and ultrasonic waves. The laser instantly digs a huge hole in the hill. He also demonstrated a new element he called unobtainium. It will be used to be the shell of the ship. Purcell asks him if he can do it in less than 3 months. The government will fund it. Next, the FBI is in the house of Taz Finch to arrest him. He is a super genius in regards to hacking the internet. Finch immediately destroyed all the secret files that he have that will be used as evidence against him.
Will these look like computers? Totally not.
Purcell told him that he already have 3 strikes by hacking the database of the FBI. Keyes told Finch that they need someone who know how to control the internet. Finch agreed with the condition of Xena tapes and Hot Pockets. Childs received a recommendation as she have successfully landed the shuttle. She was assigned together with Iverson in a new mission effective immediately. Keyes is assigned to be the leader and tell the experts what is happening. Purcell introduced Childs and Iverson to the team. Keyes told everyone their plan, which start from building the ship and planning how to detonate a nuclear bomb to restart the core. He also told that Finch will be controlling the net so the world will not know what is happening to avoid panic and chaos.
The simplest things are the hardest, huh?
The crew practiced simulation seriously to ensure they can drive the ship correctly.
It's a disaster!
Childs approached Keyes to check what he is doing. Keyes said that he is working on his invention that can see objects behind a thick wall. With a few pushes of a button, Childs corrected the view. The crew and team worked day and night to complete the ship. Childs also practiced the ship simulation seriously. Iverson talks to Childs about how to be a good leader. He said that being a leader is not about ability. It's about responsibility. He also said that one should be responsible not only for making good decisions, but also responsible for bad ones.
And you're not really a leader until you've lost.
The crew noticed bad weather with strong lightning and worried about it. It is a lightning superstorm that is happening all over the world. A very strong lightning hit Rome and it caused a lot of damage. The team is now ready to launch the ship. When they approach the ship, Serge brings out a bottle of champagne to celebrate. Braz proudly says the name of the ship he built is Virgil. The team prepares to launch the ship. Virgil is released to the depth of the ocean in the Marianas Trench. Everyone is in their position. Then all of a sudden, the whales swim with them. While going down, the team also experience a lot of earthquakes but successfully enters underground. Now Virgil starts digging and the team is on their way to the core. After 12 hours of descending, they noticed Big Black in the monitor. Keyes said that they are going to an empty space. Virgil crashed as the ship is not built to fly. Virgil crashed into a lot of crystals. Braz said that they need to get outside. Everyone is amazed at what they are seeing. It looks like a Grand Canyon of crystals. The team starts cutting crystals so they can free Virgil. However, magma starts falling from above. Keyes alerted everyone. Everyone is now in danger. Iverson instructed everyone to get back inside the ship. The cutting tool starts losing oxygen. Keyes heroically uses his own oxygen just for the cutting tool to work. Keyes collapsed due to lack of oxygen. After cutting the large crystal, Virgil is now free. The team helps Keyes to return back to the ship. Unfortunately, a big chunk of crystal dropped on Iverson's head and instantly killed him. Shocked due to the loss of their commander, the team continues on their journey. The team is sad about the incident but needs to continue its mission. Mission Day 2. The team is in the weapons control room to activate the nukes. Childs knows that she needs to avoid black parts. Zimski figures the black parts are large diamonds. Childs says to buckle up and warns everyone as the diamonds are large as Cape Cod. They are about to a collision course. Unfortunately, Virgil had a collision with a sharp diamond that caused a hull breach. Childs instructed the team to get out of the control room. Serge was trapped in the control room and Keyes tried to save him. Keyes begged to open the door so he can save Serge. Zimski stopped Childs as the breach can destroy the whole ship. Braz also tries to overwrite the system but failed. Serge was killed because of the hull breach. Keyes, so upset, approached Childs. Childs, also in grief, says she had to make the decision. The whole command center saw and hear what happened. 35 hours passed and Virgil is now approaching the core. As soon as they enter the core, Virgil went to a huge speed jump. Zimski worried about the speed because they calculated differently. He said the core material is too thin and the blast from the nukes will not spread wide enough to restart the core. Zimski said that they need to go home because they failed, but the team did not agree. Zimski insisted to go home and instructed Purcell to launch Destiny. Zimski said Destiny is a device, Deep Earth Seismic Trigger Initiative. He said it is a weapon that triggers seismic events that can create massive earthquakes. Everyone is not happy about Destiny. He said, if they launch Destiny, it will trigger all the volcanoes to blow and will cause massive earthquakes that can kill a lot of people. Purcell stops him, telling him that Destiny is their only option.
Mutually assured destruction.
He instructed everyone to go back because when they fire Destiny, it will also destroy the ship. Keyes, Braz, and Childs decided to continue with the mission. Zimski is very upset about the team's decision. He insisted to go back.
Restart the core somehow? Oh, that's a great idea!
Braz punched Zimski to stop him from acting violently. The team continues descending to the core. EM field started to get a hole and the microwave started to get in. The heat from the microwave is so hot, instantly boils the water down. The heat also melts down steel metal caused to destroy a bridge. It caused half of San Francisco in ruins and thousands of casualties. This also caused a lot of power failures on the West Coast.
Thousands are dead. Many are missing.
The incident pushed Purcell to launch Destiny sooner. He said Destiny needs a lot of power to launch and they can't afford another power failure. Finch sends a message to Keyes to offer help. Keyes instructed Finch to find Destiny and slows it down. Keyes and Braz are trying to figure out how to start the core but failed. Zimski laughed at them, saying that it took 400 smartest people just to bring up the first plan. Keyes asked him to help but Zimski declined. All of a sudden, Zimski had a great idea on how to restart the core. He said one explosion will not work. He said they need to drop the nukes in smaller parts to create a ripple and will restart the core. The plan now is to hotwire the nukes, put each in the exact place, then detonate them in sequence. They also need to get away fast and avoid the explosion. Meanwhile, Destiny is about to launch. Finch is also in the work on how to slow down Destiny. Finch greatly struggles to access Destiny. Keyes said they cannot release the smaller bomb on their own as they are not strong enough to withstand the heat and pressure. The plan is to place the smaller bomb into the compartments and release the compartment one after another. The problem is, one needs to be inside the compartment just to release it. That one will surely die. They draw to pick to decide who will be left out. Braz cheated just to make sure that he will be the one releasing the compartment. Both Keyes and Zimski are not happy about it, but Braz insisted that he should be the one releasing the compartment because it is his ship, and he doesn't want Virgil to fail. He said if Virgil needs more blood, it will be his blood.
Virgil needs more blood, it will be my blood.
Braz gears up, preparing to go to the compartment, says goodbye to the team. As soon as the hatches open, a strong surge of hot wind comes out. Braz struggles to get inside because it is too hot. His tool instantly melts down. The team can only watch and listen while Braz is in despair. Even in pain, Braz was successful in manually overriding the system. Keyes, in sorrow, open up the chamber, instantly killing Braz. Destiny is now almost ready to launch, and Finch is still struggling to access Destiny. The team released the first compartment. Purcell received a call that Destiny is ready to go. He instructed the firing sequence. In a nick of time, Finch got access to Destiny. He overwrite the system, causing Destiny not to fire. Destiny instantly loses its power.
Your kung fu is not strong.
Purcell approached Finch, but Finch pretends that he is only playing Pong. The team released the second compartment, then released the third one. Before releasing the fourth bomb, they calculated that they need more power. Then the ships collide, causing the bomb to pin Keys to the wall. Childs says that they need to close the last compartment, but Keys is still pinned down. Keys said to Zimski to go out. Before going out, the ship collide again, causing the bomb to roll to Zimski and caught his leg. Both men can't take off the bomb. Zimski pushed Keys to the door to get out. From the monitor, Zimski instructed Keys to use the reactor in the last bomb to make it larger. Keys turned down to power to get the reactor. He used the chain to remove the reactor, but it only break because it is too hot. With no other choice, Keys removed the reactor by using his hands. He carried the reactor up to the last bomb, then released the compartment. Keys, in pain, approached Childs. He said that they don't have the energy to get back. Childs understands and accepts it. Without power, both Keys and Childs are just waiting for the bomb to explode. After the first bomb exploded, Keys just got an idea of how to get power. He said unobtainium can convert heat to energy. He said the whole ship is like a big solar panel. After the last bomb exploded, the command center witnessed that the core starts spinning. The plan was a success and everybody is celebrating. After attaching the last rod, Virgil starts getting power. The last explosion pushes Virgil to speed up, while the command center experienced earthquakes. Finch happily says that the earthquake is everywhere and it is like the planet is healing itself.
Wait, the planet's healing itself.
Virgil drives into the tectonic plates near Hawaii. The command center lost contact with Virgil. After 4 hours, Virgil successfully arrives from the ground, finding themselves in the middle of the ocean. As soon as they enter the ocean, Virgil lost its power because there is no heat. Purcell in a carrier is in search for Virgil, but loses hope as they don't know where to find Virgil. Finch tries to convince Purcell that they need to search more. A call from one of the officers says they only hear whales from the ocean. They said it is not common. Purcell instructed the captain of the ship that they are already done with the search. A few moments later, Finch remembers that the whales are showing where Virgil is.
It's whales! The ultrasonics!
They followed the whales, then found Virgil. They successfully recover Virgil. Both Keys and Childs are saved. Childs says she is sad that no one will know the heroic deeds of Iverson, Serge, Braz, and Zimski. A week later, Finch went to a cafe computer shop and released the information to the net regarding the heroic deeds of the team. He said, "Destiny meet world, world meet destiny."
Destiny meet world, world meet destiny.
Robin is happy to see her friend. Frank also buys pills from Robin. Frank pays for one of the pills and also gave a motorbike as a birthday present. Morning came, Robin sneaks back to her room and hide her earnings in a small luggage, then fall asleep. Meanwhile, Major Art, a former soldier, is on his way to Newt, one of the pill dealer. He knocks on the door and Newt opened it with a gun pointing at him. Major says he is a friend of Newt's friend. When Newt tried to call his friend to ask, the Major sneaks inside the room. Major took Newt's phone. Terrified, Newt took one pill and instantly gained power with fire. The power only lasts for 5 minutes. Newt started attacking the Major. The Major shot him, but with no effect. Newt attacks him again. The Major ran and almost fell out of the building. Major jumps to the next floor, but Newt is still chasing him. The lady on the next floor put water on Newt. Now the Major got an idea of how to stop Newt. In the next room, Major covered Newt with his wet jacket and then put him in the bathtub. He begins asking questions about who his supplier is. Newt had no choice but to say his supplier then exploded due to a pill overdose. Robin's mother wakes Robin up so she will not be late for school. Robin told her mother that she will bring her soup later. Her mother is also ill due to diabetes. Robin also told her mom that she will also get her medicine when she came back. The Major checks Newt's phone for any leads. Then the phone rings. Robin sent messages to Newt's phone. She did not know the Major is the one messaging him. Robin's teacher caught her using her phone. Unhappy told Robin to go out of the room and go to the office. Frank arrived in a bank robbery. His captain told him that they cannot interfere with the operation. Frank, unhappy about it, took a pill and sneaks to the back of the bank. He starts his timer for 5 minutes. The robber also took a pill with the power of camouflage. The robber immediately runs and Frank started chasing him. The robber took a bike but crashes into a car. The robber immediately took a ride on the train, but Frank is still behind him. Frank chased him till they got to an alley. The robber immediately shot Frank, then Frank fell. Because Frank also took a pill, he was not injured in the gunshot. Major is now waiting for Robin. The captain was not happy knowing that Frank took a pill. He said the policeman should obey the law. Frank told the captain if he had not taken the pill, he should be dead by now. Captain told Frank to look for the Major and told him that the Major is the source of the pills. The Major patiently waits for Robin. Robin arrived at the meet-up place in the diner and thought she will meet with Newt. Robin had a flat tire when she went out of the diner. The Major grabbed her and put her in the back of her truck. Frank sent a message to Robin that he needs a new pill. The Major brought Robin into a dark alley to ask her questions about her supplier. Robin yells for help but no one came. The Major threatened that she will hurt her mother if she did not tell her supplier. The Major told Robin that Newt is already dead. The Major continues to ask questions about who her supplier is. Robin had no choice but to tell him. Biggie the supplier is now with his boss Gardner waiting for their new client to sell a lot of pills to a buyer from South America. The buyer arrived and told Biggie that she wants to see a demonstration of what the pill can do. Frank received a message from Robin asking for help. Robin brings the Major to one of the suppliers. Frank tried to follow Robin inside the supermarket where the supplier is. Instantly, Robin is not in sight. The supplier is now asking questions to Robin. Now Robin says the Major is outside. The supplier took a pill and went outside. Major attacked the supplier to ask a question about the source. They start fighting. The Major tried to stop the truck that is about to leave. The Major was heavily injured because of the fight. He went inside the truck and looked for information about the source. He immediately collapses because of the injury. The supplier awakes and attacks Robin. The Major attacked the supplier to save Robin. The Major tried to explain that he is not the bad guy. He said that he is only trying to find his daughter in a vet hospital. Robin fixed the Major's wound to heal. Frank arrived at Robin's house but noticed an unknown car parked outside. He immediately went to the back and pretends that he lives there. Frank asked for a warrant and starts recording. The men have no choice but to leave. Frank tried to explain to Robin's mom that he is helping her and asked for a tape. Frank runs to the men's car and attached a phone to track. Major started to ask questions about why she is in this mess. Robin says she needs money so she can help her mom with her medications. Major told her that she needs to go to school or go to the army. He told her to be better. Robin gave her antibiotic. Frank is now tracking the car that went to Robin's house. Major now better is going to the source, but Robin insisted to go with him. Frank shares his story in the army and his experience with the experimental pill, but did not say what power it gives him. He only says that after he took the pill it caused him to kill a lot of people and was not happy about it. He also shares that his daughter was taken away from him because her daughter is strong and capable of power. The Major starts remembering the day his daughter was taken from him, then Robin wakes him up. Major and Robin are now in the spot where the source is. A man with a moment came on a motorcycle. The Major bumps on him not knowing that he already took his keys. Major told Robin to wait outside as he will go inside. He attacks the guard so he can go inside. The source is about to demonstrate the pill to their buyer. The source explains the different power capabilities of the pill to the supplier. Frank also arrived at the place after following the car. Both Frank and Robin were surprised to see each other in the place. Frank is not happy that Robin is helping the Major. The lady went inside the glass room to try the pill. She instantly gets a new power. The Major came close to Biggie and grabs him. The buyer, confused, says she will only take the pill. One of the bodyguards took a pill and everybody starts shooting each other. The lady inside the glass room starts to panic till she freezes. After the showdown, the Major starts asking for the source from Biggie. Then Frank came. Frank told the Major, asked him to put the gun down, but the Major was fast to get the gun from Frank. Biggie took a pill and became a large monster. Biggie starts chasing the Major and Frank. The Major shot the gas tank, which caused an explosion to kill Biggie. Frank arrested the Major. Robin tried to explain that the Major is not the bad guy. After they left, Robin noticed the bald guy and know that he is with the source. Robin starts following him. The Major told Frank that his captain is also taking orders from the source and they are both in trouble. He explains that somebody will come to them to take him and kill Frank. Frank noticed suspicious men outside his car and told the Major he will help him, but the Major refuses his help. When the SWAT came to the car, only the Major is left in the car. Robin arrives in the dock where she follows the bald man. Frank also arrived at the scene, again surprised to see Robin. Robin asked for the Major. Frank told her that it's the Major's plan that the bad guys take him. Frank told Robin to stay outside and be a lookout, and he will go inside the docks. Frank took a pill and tries to get inside, but the guard stops him. Frank told him that the guard will be in trouble if he will not let him inside. The guard asked him to wait. Now the Major met the source named Gardner, told the Major her daughter is safe. The guard went back to Frank but instantly shot him. Robin is shocked, but Frank is still alive because he took a pill that makes him unharmed from the gunshot. Gardner explained to Major that her daughter is their key to permanent power. Robin also went inside the docks and hid inside a van. Frank, not happy with the situation, threats Gardner. Then the bald man attacks him with a taser. Gardner told the bald man to bring the Major inside. Both Frank and Robin are now inside the control room. They now control all the doors of the ship. Frank went outside the room and told Robin to stay in the control room. Robin opens the door for Frank and guides him inside the ship. The bald man took a pill to get power. Another guard also took a pill and attacked Frank from behind. The guard is flexible and starts to choke Frank. The Major is happy knowing that Robin and Frank are also on the ship. Frank told Robin to close the door so the guard's arm get pressed. The bald man smashes the door inside the control room but did not find Robin, and also the control is destroyed. The Major told the guard about the most powerful animal on the planet. He said that the pistol shrimp can create a shockwave hotter than the surface of the sun. The Major shows that he also has a pill in his mouth. Terrified, the guard let the Major loose. The bald man arrived and asked for a fight from the Major. Frank arrived, throws the gun to the Major, and shot the bald man. Robin found Tracy, the Major's son, explained to her that her dad is also on the ship to rescue her. Gardner is not happy to find out that Tracy is also missing. Both Robin and Tracy are now trying to escape. The Major is so happy to see her daughter with Robin. All four of them try to escape. A guard who also took a pill is following them. The Major starts to fight the guard and told everyone to escape to the lifeboat. However, Robin tried to help the Major but was captured by the bad guys. When Major arrived in the lifeboat, Robin is still not in there. Gardner is outside holding Robin a hostage. The Major went outside, took a pill, and vanished everyone in sight. He created a strong shockwave that kills all the enemies. After that, the Major collapsed, and Robin tried to help him. Tracy, with the power to heal, helps his father to wake up. All four of them escaped using the lifeboat. The Major thanked Frank for helping him. He also told Robin to go to his truck and check the trunk. Both the Major and Tracy are now happy that they are with each other. There is also a bag of money that the Major left Robin in his truck to help her with her mom. Robin brings her mom the soup and hug each other.
Cursed be the ground. For our sake. O thorns and thistles, it shall bring forth. For us. For out of the ground we were taken, for the dust we are. And to the dust we shall return.
The world was turned into a wasteland 30 years after the war. A traveler warrior named Eli is wearing a suit and waiting for his prey. He shot a cat with a bow, instantly killing the cat. Then he took his target with him. He walked tirelessly until he spotted an abandoned house. He inspected the place to check if someone was at home or something that he can use. He also checks the faucet, but there is no water. While searching the house, he found a dead person hanging. He took his shoes and is happy about it. That night he cooked his meal and listened to music to relax. After that he also read a book. The next morning, he noticed that the battery on his iPod is almost empty, then continue his travel. He walked to a lady asking for help. He knows that this is a trap.
Smell hijackers a mile off.
Several men show and tried to get his belongings. Eli refused. The leader of the pack touched him, but his hand was cut off. The men attacked Eli, and all of them perished. Eli took everything that he can use and then left to continue his journey. At the end of a destroyed highway overpass, he noticed a couple and they were attacked by a group of bikers. The bikers attacked and killed the couple and took their belongings. Eli did not want to interfere and continued his journey. Eli reached a town and enters a shop. He asked for his battery to be charged in exchange for some of his belongings.
Just a customer, okay?
He noticed that the bikers also arrived. Meanwhile, the mayor of the town named Carnegie is reading a book, and his right-hand man named Reedridge told him that the bikers brought him books. Carnegie immediately asked Reedridge to bring the books to him. The leader of the biker named Martz brought him books, but Carnegie said that the book he is looking is still not there. Martz also brought a shampoo, and that makes Carnegie happy. The bikers are rewarded because of that. Carnegie gives the shampoo to his blind partner named Claudia. Downstairs, Eli enters the bar and asks the bartender to exchange his cloth and gloves for water. A cat walks in front of Eli and snarls. He pushes it away. The bartender sends Solara out to get water. Outside, Reedridge tries to make a move to Solara, but she asked him to move aside and fills Eli's water container. Martz approached Eli, taunting Eli for touching his cat.
Murderer.
Eli grabbed him and then knocks him down. The entire bikers attacks him, and all of the bikers were killed except for one. When Solara returns, she begs Eli to stop. Reedridge, Carnegie, and his men arrived and stop Eli at gunpoint. Carnegie was amazed at Eli's fighting skills and also impressed when he found out that Eli can also read. He asks Eli to join him to control the town, but Eli has no interest in joining him and told him that he needs to go.
Straight to the point.
Carnegie forced him to stay for the night and offer his hospitality. Reedridge brings Eli to his room and told him that someone outside will guard him and he can ask for whatever he needs. Claudia brought him food and water. Eli asked her if she was blinded by the flash of the war, but she says that she was blinded since she was born. He thanks her for bringing him food and water. Carnegie decided to give Solara to Eli to make him stay. Claudia begged not to do that, but Carnegie walked away. Solara enters Eli's room, but Eli asked her to leave. Solara begged to stay because Carnegie will hurt her mom. They talked about what the world is before the war. Solara noticed the book Eli has. She asked if she can have a look, but Eli declined to let her see it. Eli asked Solara to share the meal with him. Before eating their meal, Eli prays, thanking for the meal. The next morning, Carnegie asked Solara what happened last night. She said they did not talk much. Claudia told Solara to eat. Solara starts praying and Carnegie noticed it. Carnegie hurts Claudia to make Solara tell him what he knows about Eli. He suspects that Eli has the book he is looking for. Solara says the book has a cross sign on the cover.
Show me!
Carnegie immediately calls Reedridge to go with him to Eli's room, finding out that he is already gone. Reedridge kills the man on duty. Across the street, Eli gathers his battery and then leaves. Outside, Carnegie and his men are waiting for Eli. Carnegie approached Eli, asked him to stay, and give him the book. Carnegie said that he need the book to control the town. Eli refused and walked away.
I love this guy.
Carnegie ordered Reedridge and his men to shoot Eli. Eli killed most of Carnegie's men and shot Carnegie in the knee. Reedridge sees that Eli is not afraid, so he let him leave. So Lara followed Eli and offered that she can show him where to get water. After gathering water, Eli locked the door and leaves Solara inside. He said that the road is not safe for her. Carnegie get his leg treated by his doctor. Immediately told his men to move to get after Eli and then get the book. Reedridge bargained that he wants Solara before helping. Carnegie accepts his term. While walking, Solara noticed a lady asking for help, not knowing that 2 other men is waiting. The men grabbed Solara and start beating her. The 2 men were shot by Eli's bow, helping Solara. Solara is so grateful to see Eli. Carnegie and his men are on the road looking for Eli. Reedridge and Carnegie saw the 2 men who attacked Solara lying on the ground. Reedridge says also noticed a piece of cloth that belongs to Solara. He said that they are not that far. One of the men suggests continuing the search as it will be dark soon. Eli and Solara stayed in an old nuclear plant for the night. Solara asked Eli to read her some from the book. Eli recite a bit, then put the book inside his bag. He also shares a story where he got the book and also the voice who told him to bring the book to the West.
I will fear no evil.
When Solara thinks Eli is asleep, she goes to take a look at the book in his bag. Eli stops her, saying that he is not sleeping, told her not to touch his bag and go to sleep. Carnegie and his men are tracking Eli. Eli and Solara found a house and then tried to enter it. Before entering the house, a trapdoor catches them. An old couple named Martha and George shows up saying they should not trespass. Eli apologizes, saying he did not see the sign. Martha shows mercy and then offers tea. George shows them a small cemetery for those who attack their house. Eli told Solara that they need to go.
Her hands were shaking.
Too much human meat. Let's go.
He noticed that Martha is shaking, knowing that the couple are cannibals. As they leave, Carnegie and his men arrive in front of the house. Eli and Solara get back to the house to hide. George, ready to fight, pulls out an impressive gun collection. Carnegie, using a megaphone, told Eli to go out with Solara and the book. A small box was thrown outside. Reedridge inspects the box and realizes that it is a bomb, then throws it away. Both parties start shooting, then Reedridge pulls out an RPG and blows up the house, killing Martha. George, upset, starts killing some of the men but were also killed. Eli and Solara were caught and surrounded by the men. Carnegie threatens to kill Solara, telling Eli to give him the book. Reedridge asked to surrender the book, and Eli told him where he hid the book.
Ask and you shall receive.
After retrieving the book, Carnegie shot Eli down and then left him on the ground. On the road, Reedridge inspects Eli's machete. Solara suddenly attacked the driver, causing the truck to flip. Solara throws a grenade to destroy one of the trucks. The flip killed Reedridge with a stab from Eli's machete. Solara escaped using the truck. Carnegie decided not to follow Solara because they don't have enough fuel to get her. Solara went back to the house to look for Eli, but he is no longer to be seen. At the road, Solara spotted Eli walking, took him, and they drive to the west. Inside the truck, Eli put a patch on his gun wound. Back to Carnegie, he found that the book is locked. A few moments later, both Eli and Solara arrived in San Francisco. They stopped at the end of the broken bridge. Eli found the place he is looking for. Carnegie told the engineer to open the book, while Eli and Solara took a boat to go to the island of Alcatraz. They took turns in rowing the boat until they got to the island. A soldier asked them about their business, and Eli told him that he has a King James Bible in his possession, and the guard let them in. Inside Alcatraz, Lombardi, the curator, told them that they collect books to start a new civilization but did not have a Bible. The engineer carefully opens the lock of the book. Carnegie is upset that the Bible is in Braille. Eli asked for a lot of paper. He memorized the Bible because he is reading it for 30 years. He told Lombardi to write down the exact word he is going to say. Eli starts reciting the words from the Bible.
Let there be light.
Carnegie asked Claudia to read the Bible, but she lied and said she forgot it. She tells him that she smells the wound from his leg, a sign of infection, and he is feverish. The people of the town start looting the bar and he doesn't have enough men to control it. He collapses in despair. Back in Alcatraz, Eli shaved his hair and wear a white robe. He continuously recites the words while Lombardi writes it down to complete the Bible. Eli also died, and he was buried in the Alcatraz garden. Lombardi placed a copy of the Bible on a bookshelf in a library. So Lara pays her respect to Eli's tomb, takes Eli's machete, told Lombardi that she is going home, and starts walking the road.
Climbing. Becky, together with her husband Dan and her best friend Hunter, attempt to ascend the steep and unyielding rock wall. Dan takes the lead to the path upward. He tried to hook his climb in. Surprised, he loses his balance and falls, then was hooked from his rope. Becky and Hunter tried to help him, however Dan's climbing cam popped off from the wall crack. Dan ultimately fell and died. Becky felt utterly helpless. 51 weeks later, Becky is still miserable, spending her time drinking liquor. She dialed her husband's phone just to listen to the voicemail. Becky is so drunk, went outside the bar and finds out that her father James is waiting for her. However, she does not want to see her dad and wants to leave her alone. Her dad still insists to calm her down and asks her to move on with her life. Upset, Becky walks instead. Alone, Becky tries to call her husband's number again, but found out that the number is now disconnected. To calm down, she took some of her medicine. Her best friend Hunter visits and told her that she looks awful. Hunter excitedly asks Becky to join her in an adventure to climb the B67 TV tower. She said that she is planning to climb this weekend and asked Becky to go with her. She also told her that she can scatter Dan's ashes on top. Becky declined as she have not climbed for a while. Hunter says she says not to be afraid and start to live again. The next morning, Becky looked at Dan's ashes and told Hunter she decided to go with her. Hunter is so excited. While on the road, Becky looked at their old videos and photos. She noticed that Hunter also have a boyfriend that she did not know. Becky says it was only an old date. In the diner, Becky also just knew that Becky is also uploading videos online. Hunter asks for just to look up to see the tower. Hunter also shows Becky how to charge her phone in a lamp as it is already low, and start to live again. The next morning, Becky looked at Dan's ashes and told Hunter she decided to go with her. Hunter is so excited. While on the road, Becky looked at their old videos and photos. She noticed that Hunter also have a boyfriend that she did not know. Becky says it was only an old date. In the diner, Becky also just knew that Becky is also uploading videos online. Hunter asks for just to look up to see the tower. Hunter also shows Becky how to charge her phone in a lamp as it is already low. In a dream, Becky told Dan I love you, and Dan replied 1 for 3 for I love you, then woke up. On their way to the tower, Becky starts recording for content. At the end of the road, both of them noticed that the gate is locked, so they decided to walk to the tower. Hunter said that she brought water, a camera, and ropes that they need for the climb. She said she did not bring food as they will not stay long in the tower. On their way to the tower, they saw vultures eating but noticed that the animal being eaten is still alive, so they repel the vultures, driving them away. At the foot of the tower, they look up and are amazed by how high the tower is. Becky is hesitant, says she can't do it, and starts shaking. But Hunter calms her down and says don't let fear consume her. Motivated, Becky agreed to climb the tower. Hunter, ecstatic, lead the way, them. She assures Becky that everything will be fine. Both of the ladies start climbing the high tower. Hunter shows that she is enjoying climbing, not knowing that some of the cables of the tower look rusty and shaky. While climbing, the whole tower continues to shake. Upon climbing, one of the step of the ladder breaks off. Becky, terrified, closed her eyes. Hunter motivates her to continue climbing. Becky continues climbing. The tower is 2,000 feet up. Becky asks to stop for a drink. While drinking, Hunter says they are halfway up, 1,000 feet, like the height of the Eiffel Tower. They saw the town and it looks very small. After the drink, they continue their way up. They finally completed the first part long ladder. Hunter says they only need to climb 200 feet more to the top. The ladder is very rusty and shaky. Hunter reminds Becky to only look up. Hunter told Becky to sing nursery rhymes so she will not overthink. On their way up, they notice that there is a huge metal that blocks their way up. But Hunter continues and helps Becky up. Hunter plays and starts shaking the ladder. They did not notice that a screw on the ladder fell off. Both of them finally reached the top of the ladder. Both of the ladies were so amazed and enjoyed the view from the top. They are very happy and took some photos. Hunter also used her drone to get better pictures from the top. Hunter went insane by taking a picture while hanging with just one hand. Then Hunter told Becky that it is her turn to try. Becky was hesitant but also tried it. Both of them are so happy with the adventure they are having. Becky now takes Dan's ashes, says her last goodbye to Dan, and scatters the ashes. Both of the ladies cried at the moment. Becky soothed Hunter and told her that they need to get down. After preparing, Becky starts climbing down, but the ladder completely breaks. Hunter tied a rope to the pole and she starts pulling Becky up. Becky made it to the top with the help of Hunter. Now the ladder is gone and they can't go down. The ladies look on their phones, but they do not have a signal to call. Becky starts to panic and Hunter tries to calm her down. They notice that there is a small box with binoculars and a flare. However, they also noticed that the bag also fell to the big metal when Becky fell earlier. Got worried as their water is in the bag. Becky was also injured because of the fall. The ladies sit down and just hope that help arrives. Upon looking with the binoculars, they notice that there is an RV, but they think it is abandoned. They do not have a signal on top. Hunter thinks of an idea that she might get a signal down. She write a post hoping that it will be posted and her followers might read it. She tied the phone down and tries to get a signal but failed. So Becky told her that they will just drop the phone and reinforced it so it will not break down. Hunter used her shoe, so get help when the note is posted. Becky noticed that Hunt the tower. They tried to call the guy but did not see them. Becky attempts to shot. Hunter again saw someone on the RV. They waited for the night to fire the flare as it is more visible. The guys from the RV saw them, but instead of helping, the men steal their car. The ladies were too tired. Hunter almost fell off. Becky asks Hunter for the 1 for 3 tattoos. Hunter confesses that she had an affair with Dan and was so sorry about it. She said they were drunk. Hunter said that she also fell in love with Dan, but she loved her more, so she ran away to avoid Dan. They were stuck now for more than 24 hours in the tower. Hunter says she can get the bag, tied the rope and starts to climb down. Unable to reach the bag, Hunter untied herself from the rope and swung to the metal. Hunter looked down, said that the ladder is ripped all the way off. She now have the bag and drinks water. The rope is too far to reach. Hunter hooked the bag to the rope and jumps to it. Hunter starts climbing up and Becky pulled her up. Hunter fell and luckily catch the bag, but she hurt her hand. Becky pulled her up. Hunter says they should ration the water. Becky wrote a note and attached it to the drone. The drone is running out of battery. Have no choice but to get it back. Becky starts to lose hope again. At night, Becky got a nightmare that Hunter is being eaten by the vultures. She woke up and had an idea to charge the drone on top of the tower. Becky struggles to climb up but made it on top. Becky stayed on top just to charge the drone. The vulture starts attacking Becky, still manages to charge the drone. Becky told Hunter to fly the drone in the diner. Hunter says they need to wait for a couple more hours. Wait till the diner opens. While waiting, Becky starts missing her dad and was so sorry that she was mean to her dad. At 10 a.m., Becky flew the drone to the diner. Almost there, but a truck destroyed the drone and the driver just drive away. At night, Becky realizes that Hunter already died as she fell earlier when she tried to get the bag. All is just her imagination that Hunter is still alive. Storm came. Becky starts crying and records herself, says sorry to her dad, and told him how much she loved him. In the next morning, all alone and tired, a vulture starts eating her leg. She grabs the vulture in the neck and killed it. No choice, she ate the vulture to gain energy. Survival of the fittest, she says. Becky, energized, starts climbing down to Hunter's body to get her shoe as she will attempt to drop her phone down to get help. Becky holds Hunter's hand. She put her phone inside Hunter's shoe and attached it to her best friend. Becky pushed Hunter's body to fall with her phone. The metal starts to shake. James arrived in the tower and thought her daughter is dead. Becky is now safe. Hug her dad. Said that she is now okay. Both of them are now going home.